Well, if you see, till we don't get a settled 5, 6, and 7, I'll have to bat lower down the order. For Will, I'll have to slightly adapt. I find it a bit difficult to go in and play the big shot. More often than not, I batted after the 30th over. Got a chance to, you know, like play like 5 to 7 overs and then go in and try to play the big shots. I've always found it slightly difficult, but it's not an easy job. Nobody has found it easy to straight away go and play the big shot. So I think that will be my responsibility because I don't see any other youngster, doing that job. So I would love to bat up the order, but I don't see it happening. So I'll have to maybe do a bit more shift in my batting and adapt in a way that I can straight away go in and try to play the big shot. And it will take a bit of time, I feel. But overall, even in this series, the only opportunity where I could have scored maybe a 40 or a 45 was the last game, where we needed like 80 runs or something. That was a lost opportunity. Other than that, in the first 3 games, the way I batted, I couldn't have done much. If you're getting out in the 48th or the 49th over, you can't get any more runs than what you have. Or the second option is, you try to play not out, which I don't think is the kind of cricket that we want to play. So, we'll try to adapt, but I think that's what my responsibility will be, in the coming whatever ODIs I will be playing. Well, I think, we need to give credit to our bowlers also. We have given a lot of credit to the Australian bowlers when we have lost game, but at the same time, this was one game where I felt our bowlers did a decent job. Umesh had a bad day. He was somebody who went for a lot of runs, but that responsibility was shared by Rishi Dhawan. Though he also went for a fair amount of run later on, but I felt between them it was a very crucial period because a lot of runs flew at that point of time. Other than that, if you say the other bowlers bowled quite well. Jadeja, Bumrah I felt was fantastic playing in his very first game. It becomes slightly easy for you when youngsters come and perform in the first 5 games that they play. You see a glimpse of what they may become in the coming years if they don't get injured, especially I'm talking about the bowlers. And as far as Manish is concerned, I felt he placed his innings very well. As I said, at times you think playing the big shot is something that you should do at that point of time, but what's important is to realize over here the grounds are very big. If you miss time more often than not, there are chances of you getting out, but at the same time when exploited, whenever there's a miss hit or the grounds are so big, if you hit a good Yorker, more often than not you get a 2, which may not happen on small ground. So you rely a lot on your running. And when we had this partnership, I actually told him the same thing. The difference was 15 runs, 20 runs. I said, whatever happens, at least 2 boundary you will get. Both of us batting together will get 2 boundaries. And also, both of us are quick between the wickets, which means we'll put pressure on their fielders who don't have a strong arm or, who are not very quick. And ultimately, we'll get those extra runs, that way, rather than always looking for a big shot, a big 6. So I feel when it comes to development of a player, this inning will really help him. But what's important for him will be the fact, he'll have to keep in mind, whatever good things he did in this game, how he really calculated the run chase, and all of that. So, it's good to get somebody who has scored 100, especially batting at number 5. So definitely has a good future. It's a very difficult one, and that's where the selectors do that job, because if you frankly ask me today, okay, who's performing well in the domestic circuit, I don't have any clue who's performing well. So, it's all depends on the selector. They are the ones who are, watching the game, the domestic games, the big games, the emerging and the India A and all of that. So, I feel, when there's a chance of when it comes to selection, what I have been doing, I rely a lot on the selector, especially when it comes to picking somebody who's new. Let's for example say somebody who needs to bat lower down the order. You have to rely on that, on the selectors. You need to have that trust because they are the ones who are watching them. If they strongly believe, okay, this is an individual who has been doing really well and we need to promote him, we need to give him a chance. You have to, because at the end of the day, all of them are good. They have been doing really well in the domestic circuit. What's important is to see how they handle the pressure in the international arena. Other than that, I don't think we are short of talent. It's just that you have to capitalize. Now that the kind of innings Manish has played, what happens is it gives you those extra 15 ODIs, where you can settle in and start to do what you need to do and adapt to the demands of the game also, because a lot will also change when we play in the subcontinent. When you play in different venues, accordingly a lot of stuff changes. As of now, it's somebody who looks good at number 5. I'm quite a traditional guy. I always felt anything that disturbs the game of cricket, I don't like it. And it all started right from the T20, where people used to start and they would be like, okay, why don't you wear a mic? Why don't you wear a camera? Why don't you wear? I always feel there's always need to be a balance. Between, yes, it's at the end of the day, it's a spectator sport. It's for the spectators, people watching it on television, but at the same time, we have to make sure, 4 runs can really matter, especially when it's a 310, 320 game, those 4 runs can be very crucial. So, if it, why not, everyone gets penalized. So why not, have a same system for the spider cam? You say, okay, if you get hit, $2,000 per hit. Let's make it interesting, because, if you see, people are striving for more. I will tell you, when you're walking, if you have got out, the cameraman, right, goes under your face. In the same way, Spider-Man is, spider cam is right next to you. You have seen players, quite a few of them, they're like, okay, what's happening? Because it also makes a lot of noise, but at the end of the day, it's for the spectators, and, if spectators are not there, cricket won't be played. So it's a mix and match, but $2,000 per hit, I think that's a good option.